Ash's first Ultra Class battle, the return of Volkner, and even the return of 10 million Volt Thunderbolt. There were plenty of neat references and callbacks like these throughout the episode, but did you notice that the Pokemon and moves on Volkner's team are actually references to the Pokemon and moves he uses in the Pokemon World Tournament? Hey Pokemon Champions, I'm Champion Blaze, and this is a breakdown of Ash vs Volkner in the Ultra Class Pokemon Journeys. Ultra exciting from the shocking start. We'll go over all the hidden details and Easter eggs you might have missed during this episode, and if I missed any Easter eggs, let me know in the comments. With that said, let's get started. We begin the episode with an overhead pan of the Sunny Shore City Gym. Ash and Volkner are seen walking down a hallway inside the Sunny Shore City Gym. Volkner states how he's glad to be battling Ash again after all this time, and we get two great frames of Ash's Torterra battling Volkner's Electivire, as well as Infernape versus Luxray, with both of these frames being taken directly from Ash's gym battle against Volkner in the episode The 8th Wonder of the Sinnoh World. This also marks Volkner's official return to the Pokemon anime, as his last appearance was in that aforementioned episode. Volkner is voiced by two different voice actors actually. In Diamond and Pearl he was voiced by Eli James, who would later go on to do the voice of Seabolt in the Pokemon Mega Evolution specials. Outside of Pokemon, Eli also voiced Haldor in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and the protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Yuma Tsukumo. In Pokemon Journeys, however, Volkner is voiced by Griffin Puatu, and this voice change is due to Eli leaving the Pokemon anime partway through Pokemon XY, which is why he was able to voice Seabolt but doesn't return in Pokemon Journeys. Griffin has also voiced Lucas in Pokemon Masters and Hop in Pokemon Twilight Wings. Outside of Pokemon, he's also voiced Naoto Tachibana in Tokyo Revengers, Shivata in Sword Art Online, and Lucifer in Blue Exorcist. Ash then goes to show Volkner his Z-Ring with the Pikachunium Z crystal inside, which Volkner calls Electrium Z, as one would assume. But it's not, and Ash doesn't correct him, only saying that it's his and Pikachu's special Z crystal, which to this day has still never been explained as to why it shows up and why he's able to have it. But moving on, they shake hands saying how they're looking forward to their battle. Then we get the Pokemon Master Journeys theme song at opening, and for a full breakdown of this opening, be sure to check out my breakdown of Ash vs Iris. We then open on the Sunny Shore City Gym with a massive crowd having gathered to watch this battle. Ash and Volkner ascend to the battlefield via these elevator platforms, and the announcer reads out that Volkner is ranked 27th in the PWC and is also the strongest gym leader in Sinnoh. He was also referred to as such back in the Diamond and Pearl anime as well. Nice to see he's maintained that title after all this time. Then Ash is introduced as a newcomer to the Ultra Class, rank 99th. Behind both Volkner and Ash, we can see the Ultra Ball symbol behind their photos, as that's the symbol for the Ultra Class. Something funny to note is the difference in enthusiasm between the introductions of Ash and Volkner. Volkner, being on his home turf, has a massive applause, while Ash on the other hand has a minimal applause.
Presently ranked 27th, the strongest gym leader in Sinnoh, it's Volkner!
And then Ash.
Currently ranked 99th, it's Ash!
Volkner's got a home field advantage.
Just thought I'd mention it because I think it's funny. The Rotom drone flies over and says this will be a 3v3 battle. Both trainers send out their Pokemon, and Ash leads with Lucario while Volkner leads with Luxray. This is a contrast to his lineup of Pokemon during his gym battle with Ash in Diamond and Pearl, as there his final Pokemon was Luxray, seemingly his ace, but here he leads with it, presumably having changed his ace Pokemon to Electivire, which we'll see later. But this is actually a smart decision to lead with Luxray, because we will soon find out that Luxray has gotten quite the upgrade to its moveset. The battle begins and Volkner starts by setting up electric terrain, electrifying the battlefield and powering up electric type moves. Ash makes an interesting comment afterwards.
He did kick it off with electric terrain.
This would imply that Ash remembers Clement doing the same thing in their gym battle in Lumio City with his own Luxray. A good strategy for sure. Lucario fires off Aura Sphere, but Luxray completely cancels the attack using Rising Voltage, another new move. This move, of course, being introduced in Generation 8, and is a move that gets doubled in power in the presence of electric terrain. And in the rematch battle against Volkner and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, his Luxray does in fact know electric terrain. This move strikes Lucario hard with immense power, so Ash returns Lucario and switches into Gengar. Volkner goes for Snarl on Gengar, but Gengar easily dodges the attack. It then attacks with Psychic to smash Luxray into the ground. Gengar follows up with Nightshade, landing another direct hit. Finding it difficult to deal with Gengar's quick movements with Luxray, Volkner decides to switch out his Pokemon. He then sends out Fan Rotom next. Volkner having Fan Rotom here is most likely a reference to his team in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 in the Pokemon World Tournament, where he does indeed use a Fan Rotom. Rotom uses Air Slash and Gengar counters with Nightshade. The two moves are evenly matched, so Ash switches to Ice Punch. With Rotom being able to move just as freely and easily as Gengar, Gengar isn't able to land Ice Punch and instead gets struck with Thunder Wave, paralyzing it. Rotom follows up with Hex, a move that does increase damage if the target has a status condition, and with Gengar being paralyzed, it does tremendous damage, and this is enough to defeat Gengar. Ash returns Gengar Gengar and then sends out Pikachu to the field with the electric terrain having worn off. Pikachu starts with Electro Web, and this surprises Volkner as the last time they battled, Pikachu's two electric type moves were Thunderbolt and Volt Tackle. Rotom gets caught in Electro Web and Pikachu goes for Thunderbolt, but Volkner responds quickly and switches out Rotom for Electivire, which takes the incoming Thunderbolt. However, it takes no damage with its ability being Motor Drive, an ability where the user takes no damage from electric type moves and instead increases its speed. Volkner did the same thing to Pikachu in their gym battle back in Diamond and Pearl. This same occurrence also happened to Ash at the Sinnoh League with Paul's Electivire after Pikachu struck it with Volt Tackle. With its increased speed, it quickly lands a direct hit on Pikachu using Fire Punch. Ash then commands Iron Tail, and Volkner also commands Iron Tail. Electivire jumps into the air to confront Pikachu, and the announcer makes an interesting remark about Volkner's Electivire, stating it's using the twin blade style of Iron Tail. This is rather interesting, as it implies that not only can trainers create their own variations of moves like Ash's spinning Aqua Jet with his Weasel, but that actual varying techniques exist within known Pokemon moves. So this twin blade style seems to be a higher level technique of Iron Tail that Pokemon with more than one tail can learn and utilize. This is also reminiscent of when Ash's Pikachu battled Gary's Electivire at the end of the Battle Frontier saga, and they also clashed with Iron Tail. Electivire gets the upper hand and Pikachu falls to the ground, so Ash recalls Pikachu and brings Lucario back into the battle. Ash orders Lucario to use Aura Sphere, and Volkner calls for Fire Punch. The two moves collide with great impact, knocking each other back. Volkner has Electivire use Wild Charge, and this is actually a move it gets when Volkner uses Electivire on his teams in the Pokemon World Tournament. Lucario uses Double Team, which makes Wild Charge completely miss. It goes for an Aura Sphere Assault, but Electivire knocks them all away using its two tails. What's neat here is, while this isn't technically Ash's counter shield technique that's used here, Electivire's spinning defensive move does look very similar to it. It then powers up Thunder Punch and directly strikes Lucario. This in turn causes it to become paralyzed. This also invokes imagery of Paul's Electivire using Thunder Punch as well. Electivire's moveset is also much different this time, as last time it battled it only used Ice Punch and Fire Punch, and while it still has Fire Punch, it now uses Thunder Punch, Wild Charge, and Iron Tail. Volkner returns Electivire and sends Rotom back into the battle, and when he does so, he actually throws his Pokeball in a similar fashion to Ash when he throws his Pokeballs throughout Pokemon journeys. With Lucario paralyzed, Rotom goes for Hex, dealing heavy damage to Lucario. Now with Lucario low on energy, strength, and being paralyzed, Ash goes for Reversal. Rotom uses Air Slash, striking Lucario multiple times, but it continues to build up its power until it's ready to attack. It then jumps to Rotom in the blink of an eye and strikes it down with Reversal, leaving Rotom unable to battle. Lucario stays in the battle and shakes off the paralysis. Volkner then sends Luxray back out to the battle. He sets up with Electric Terrain again, and we then get a cross counter between Aura Sphere and Rising Voltage. Lucario tries to take out Luxray in a close range attack like he just did to Rotom. Both remain standing until they both collapse, resulting in a double knockout. Both trainers recall their Pokemon. It's interesting here because Lucario, a fighting type, defeated Luxray. The last Pokemon Ash used to defeat his Luxray was Infernape, also a fighting type. Luxray's moveset was also wildly different in this battle, as the last time it battled it knew Thunderfang, Shockwave, Double Team, and Iron Tail, and now it knows Electric Terrain, Rising Voltage, Snarl, and an unknown move. The battle now comes down to Pikachu versus Electivire. The last time we had this showdown was between Ash and Paul at the Sinnoh League. Pikachu goes for Iron Tail and Electivire counters with Wild Charge, knocking back Pikachu. Electivire and Pikachu then clash again with Iron Tail, going back and forth until Pikachu finally lands a direct hit on Electivire's head, sending it straight into the ground. Volkner gets really fired up due to Ash's passion for battling and says how it'll make him and his Pokemon stronger. Ash decides to then use his Z-move with Pikachu and tosses his hat to Pikachu. This marks the first time Ash has used a Z-move outside of the Sun and Moon anime, and then Go actually refers to his Z-Crystal as Pikachunium Z, the first time a character has ever done so. Pikachu builds up his electricity and then launches the Z-move straight at Electivire, but Volkner has Electivire tank the hit and attempts to absorb all its power using the Motor Drive ability. At first it seems to be working, but then the overwhelming power of the Z-move causes a huge explosion, and when the smoke clears, Electivire collapses. It seems the power of the Z-move was too much even for Electivire's Motor Drive ability. With Electivire unable to battle, Pikachu is the winner and the victor is Ash. Quite fitting, as the last time these two Pokemon faced off, Pikachu won that match as well. Upon defeating Volkner, we learn that Cynthia also saw this battle and that she is one of the Masters 8. Bede, Raihan, and Leon have also witnessed this battle, as they will all be some of his future opponents. An absolutely electrifying battle, one of the best in Pokemon journeys all around, and I loved seeing how strong and competitive Volkner can truly be. But let me know which Easter eggs and references were your favorite, and for more Pokemon battle breakdowns, click the videos on screen. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our channel members for their extra support. Until next time, train hard, and I'll catch you guys later.